In the modern world of strength sports, very few athletes have captured global attention in the same way as Larry Wheels. Known for his incredible power, massive physique, and inspiring life story, Larry Wheels represents the idea that determination and resilience can overcome even the most difficult beginnings. From humble origins in New York to becoming one of the strongest and most recognized athletes in the fitness industry, his journey is a powerful story of transformation. Larry Wheels is not only a powerlifter but also a bodybuilder, arm wrestler, and fitness personality who has inspired millions of people around the world. His life story is not just about lifting heavy weights, it is about overcoming poverty, facing personal struggles, and building a successful career through dedication and relentless effort. To understand the rise of Larry Wheels, it is important to explore his birth, his early childhood, and the experiences that shaped him into the athlete he eventually became. Birth and family background. Larry Wheels was born Larry Williams on December 3, 1994, in the Bronx, New York City, United States. The Bronx is one of the most famous boroughs of New York, known for its rich cultural diversity, but also for the challenges many families face, including poverty and limited opportunities. Larry was raised primarily by his mother. His childhood was not stable, and financial difficulties were a constant part of daily life. Because his mother struggled to support the family, Larry experienced a childhood filled with uncertainty and frequent changes in living situations. At times, he lived with relatives, while at other times he had to rely on foster care systems. These early experiences had a strong impact on him emotionally and mentally. Many children in similar situations struggle to find direction, and Larry's early years were marked by confusion and hardship. However, even during those difficult times, the experiences helped develop his resilience and mental toughness, qualities that would later become essential for his success in strength sports. Childhood struggles. Growing up in the Bronx presented many challenges. The neighborhood environment could be rough, and opportunities for young people were not always easy to find. Larry's family struggled financially, and there were times when basic necessities were difficult to obtain. Because of these circumstances, Larry often had to grow up faster than most children. He had to learn independence early and adapt to constantly changing situations. Many of the friendships and relationships in his life were temporary because of frequent moves and changes in living arrangements. These experiences created emotional struggles for him as a child. Without consistent stability, Larry often felt isolated and uncertain about his future. However, these hardships also began shaping the mindset that would later help him push through intense training sessions and difficult life challenges. Moving to St. Martin. Of the most significant events in Larry Wheels' early life was his move to St. Martin, a Caribbean island. As a teenager, he left New York and went to live there for a period of time. Life in St. Martin was very different from life in the Bronx. The island environment was quieter and slower paced, but it also had fewer resources and opportunities for organized sports or structured athletic development. Gyms were rare and often expensive. For most young people living on the island, professional training equipment was simply not available. However, this lack of resources did not stop Larry from becoming interested in strength training. Discovering strength training as Larry entered his teenage years, he became fascinated with physical strength. Like many young boys, he admired muscular athletes and action heroes. He began imagining what it would be like to become strong and physically powerful, but unlike many future athletes who begin training in well-equipped gyms, Larry had to be creative. Since proper weightlifting equipment was unavailable, he began creating his own homemade workout tools. These included broomsticks used as bars, buckets filled with water for weight, homemade benches, improvised squat straps. These simple tools became the foundation of his first workouts. Larry would spend hours experimenting with exercises such as squats, bench presses, and curls using whatever equipment he could build. Although the weights were not professional, the training still helped him develop strength and coordination. More importantly, it helped him discover something that would change his life forever: his passion for lifting weights. Early signs of strength. During his early training days, Larry noticed something unusual. His body responded extremely well to strength training. While many beginners struggled to gain muscle and strength, Larry experienced rapid progress. His muscles grew quickly and his strength improved at a remarkable rate. This natural ability suggested that he possessed exceptional genetics for strength sports. combined with his dedication and determination. This potential would later help him become one of the strongest athletes of his generation. At the time, however, Larry was simply a teenager trying to improve himself physically and mentally. Mental escape through training. For Larry Wheels, training became more than just exercise. It became a mental escape from the difficulties of life. When he was lifting weights, he could temporarily forget about the struggles of poverty, instability, and uncertainty. The gym, or in his case, the improvised workout area, became a place where he felt control over his life. Every additional repetition, every increase in weight, and every improvement in strength gave him a sense of achievement that he had rarely experienced before. Over time, training became a daily habit and an essential part of his routine. Returning to the United States. Essentially, Larry returned to the United States. This move would become one of the most important turning points in his life. Back in America, he finally had access to real gyms with professional weightlifting equipment. For the first time, he could train with barbells, benches, squat racks, and proper plates. For someone who had been lifting homemade weights for years, this experience was exciting and transformative. His strength began increasing even faster, and he quickly realized that he might have the potential to compete in strength sports, the beginning of a dream. With access to proper training facilities, Larry Wheels began dedicating more time to lifting. He studied different exercises, watched training videos, and learned about professional powerlifters. The world of powerlifting, which focuses on three main lifts: squat, bench press, and deadlift, captured his interest. Larry realized that powerlifting rewarded exactly the qualities he possessed: raw strength, determination, consistent training. This discovery planted the seed of a dream that would eventually change his life. Larry Wheels is widely recognized as one of the most powerful and versatile strength athletes of the modern era. Known for his incredible lifting numbers, massive physique, and inspiring life story, he has become a major figure in the world of powerlifting, bodybuilding, and strength sports. His journey is not just about lifting heavy weights. It also includes personal struggles, relationships, public attention, and the challenges of balancing a demanding athletic career with personal life. At the same time, his early powerlifting competitions and record-breaking performances helped establish him as one of the strongest athletes of his generation. To understand Larry Wheels' rise to fame, it is important to explore both his personal life and his professional achievements in strength, sports, personal relationships, and married life. Although many fans often search for information about Larry Wheels' married life, the reality is that Larry Wheels has not had a traditional long-term marriage widely recognized in public records. However, he has had several highly public relationships that attracted attention in the fitness community. One of the most well-known relationships in his life was with fitness influencer Nicole Drinkwater. Their relationship gained significant attention on social media because both were active in the fitness industry. The couple frequently appeared together in workout videos, fitness content, and social media posts. Fans admired their chemistry and their shared dedication to fitness. However, like many relationships under public scrutiny, the relationship faced challenges. The pressure of public attention, combined with the intense lifestyle required for professional strength training, created difficulties. Eventually, the relationship ended, which became widely discussed online. These experiences highlighted one of the major challenges athletes face: balancing personal relationships with a demanding career. The lifestyle of a strength athlete. For someone like Larry Wheels, life revolves around training, recovery, nutrition, and competition preparation. Professional strength athletes must follow strict routines that often include multiple training sessions per week, strict diet plans, long recovery periods, travel for competitions, and appearances. This lifestyle can make maintaining relationships difficult because time and energy are heavily focused on athletic goals. Larry has often spoken openly about how his dedication to training sometimes affected his personal life. However, he also emphasized that the gym and strength sports helped him overcome many of the hardships he experienced earlier in life. Discovering powerlifting after returning to the United States and gaining access to proper gyms, Larry Wheels quickly realized that he had extraordinary strength. While many people train casually, Larry's numbers increased rapidly. He became fascinated with powerlifting, which focuses on three main lifts: squat, Bench press, deadlift powerlifting competitions measure the maximum weight an athlete can lift in each of these movements. The combined total of the three lifts determines the competitor's final score. For someone with Larry's natural strength and determination, powerlifting was the perfect sport. First powerlifting competition. Larry Wheels began entering local powerlifting competitions while still very young. At first, these events were small competitions where athletes from local gyms gathered to test their strength. Despite his limited experience, Larry immediately impressed spectators and judges with his incredible power. His lifts were often heavier than those of athletes who had been training for many years. During these early competitions, Larry began developing the competitive mindset required for elite sports. He learned how to handle pressure, prepare mentally for heavy lifts, and manage the intense atmosphere of competition. Each competition gave him more experience and confidence, rapid progress in strength. One of the most remarkable aspects of Larry Wheels' career is the speed at which his strength improved. Within only a few years of serious training, he was lifting weights that placed him among the strongest athletes in his category. Some of his early achievements included extremely heavy squats, bench presses, and deadlifts that caught the attention of the powerlifting community. Videos of his lifts began circulating on social media platforms, where fans were amazed by his strength and physique. These videos helped Larry gain thousands and eventually millions of followers online. Entering professional-level competitions as Larry's reputation grew, he began participating in larger and more competitive powerlifting events. These competitions featured elite lifters from around the world. Competing at this level required more advanced preparation. Larry had to focus on structured training programs, professional coaching advice, advanced nutrition strategies, recovery and injury prevention. Despite the increased competition, Larry continued to perform exceptionally well, breaking records. One of the defining moments in Larry Wheels' career came when he began breaking powerlifting records. He achieved extremely high totals in the squat, bench press, and deadlift. These totals placed him among the strongest powerlifters in the world in his weight class. His performances demonstrated not only raw strength but also technical skill and mental focus. Fans began referring to him as one of the most naturally powerful athletes in the sport. Social media fame. Like many athletes from earlier generations, Larry Wheels built much of his popularity through social media. Platforms such as YouTube and Instagram allowed him to share his training with a global audience. His videos often featured heavy deadlifts exceeding 400 kilograms, massive squats with multiple plates, intense training sessions. Millions of viewers watched these videos, turning Larry into a global fitness icon. His popularity also helped introduce many new fans to the sport of powerlifting. Challenges and endurance. Lifting at extreme levels can place enormous stress on the body. Throughout his career, Larry Wheels experienced several injuries related to powerlifting. These injuries forced him to take breaks from training and focus on rehabilitation. However, each time he faced setbacks, Larry worked hard to recover and return stronger. His resilience became another reason fans admired him. Expanding beyond powerlifting. Alpha powerlifting was the foundation of his career. Larry Wheels later explored other strength sports. He began competing in bodybuilding events and also participated in arm wrestling competitions. These new challenges allowed him to showcase his versatility as an athlete. His ability to transition between different strength disciplines is rare and demonstrates his exceptional physical abilities. Larry Wheels is widely recognized as one of the most powerful and versatile athletes in the modern fitness world. Known for his massive strength, impressive physique, and openness about his struggles, Larry has become one of the most influential figures in strength sports. His journey is not simply about lifting heavy weights. It is also about overcoming hardship, learning from mistakes, and continuously striving for improvement. From a difficult childhood to becoming one of the strongest powerlifters in the world, Larry's story reflects determination, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. His career has included extraordinary achievements, serious injuries, public controversies, and moments of personal growth. Through it all, he has remained an inspirational figure for millions of people who follow his journey. The beginning of his career, Larry Wheels began gaining attention in the fitness world when videos of his heavy lifts started circulating on social media. Unlike many athletes who slowly build recognition over many years, Larry's rise happened extremely quickly. His strength was extraordinary even by powerlifting standards. While most lifters take many years to reach elite numbers, Larry was lifting extremely heavy weights at a relatively young age. The three main lifts in powerlifting, squat, bench press, and deadlift, became the foundation of his career. His performances in these lifts were impressive enough to attract attention from experienced powerlifters, coaches, and fans. As he continued to train, his strength levels increased dramatically. Soon, he was competing in serious powerlifting competitions and building a reputation as one of the most promising young athletes in the sport. Social media and global recognition. One of the biggest reasons for Larry Wheels' rapid rise was his presence on social media platforms such as YouTube and Instagram. In previous generations, strength athletes gained fame primarily through competitions. Larry, however, built his audience through training videos that showcased his incredible lifting abilities. These videos often featured heavy deadlifts exceeding 400 kilograms, squats with enormous weight loads, bench presses that impressed even elite athletes. Millions of viewers watched these videos, and Larry quickly gained a massive online following. His personality also contributed to his popularity. Unlike some athletes who appeared distant or overly serious, Larry often spoke openly about his life experiences, struggles, and goals. This honesty helped fans relate to him on a deeper level. Achievements in powerlifting. His strength improved. Larry Wheels began competing at higher levels in powerlifting competitions. His totals in the three main lifts placed him among the strongest lifters in his weight class. Some of his performances included extremely impressive numbers that made headlines in the powerlifting community. These achievements helped establish him as one of the most talented strength athletes of his generation. He also became known for training with other elite athletes, including well-known figures in bodybuilding and strength sports. This exposure expanded his influence beyond powerlifting and introduced him to a broader fitness audience. Transition into bodybuilding. Larry Wheels built his reputation primarily through powerlifting. He later began exploring bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is very different from powerlifting. Instead of focusing on maximum strength, bodybuilding emphasizes muscle size, symmetry, conditioning, stage presentation. At these differences, Larry's muscular physique made him a strong candidate for bodybuilding competitions. He began adjusting his training style to include more hypertrophy-focused workouts and improved diet plans designed for aesthetic development. This transition demonstrated his versatility as an athlete. Injuries and physical challenge. Extreme strength training places tremendous stress on the body, and Larry Wheels has experienced several injuries throughout his career. One of the most common issues for powerlifters is joint and muscle strain due to heavy lifting. Larry experienced injuries related to his back, shoulders, and other muscle groups. These injuries sometimes forced him to reduce his training intensity or take time off completely. For someone whose life revolves around lifting, these periods can be mentally challenging. However, Larry used these experiences as opportunities to learn more about recovery, rehabilitation, and smarter training methods. He began focusing more on proper warm-ups, mobility exercises, and injury prevention strategies. Controversies and public criticism. Like many public figures, Larry Wheels has faced controversies during his career. Some of these controversies involved discussions about performance-enhancing substances in bodybuilding and powerlifting. Larry has been relatively open about his experiences, which has led to both support and criticism from different parts of the fitness community. In addition to these discussions, some of his personal relationships and online behavior have occasionally attracted public attention. Being a social media celebrity means that personal decisions can quickly become public topics of debate. Despite these challenges, Larry has often addressed controversies directly rather than avoiding them. This openness has helped maintain his credibility with many fans. Mental strength and personal growth. One of the most admirable aspects of Larry Wheels' journey is his willingness to reflect on his mistakes and grow as a person. Throughout his career, he has spoken openly about past struggles, personal regrets, lessons learned from difficult experiences. Honesty has made him more relatable to fans who also face challenges in their own lives. Instead of presenting himself as perfect, Larry often emphasizes the importance of learning and improving, motivation and influenceity. Larry Wheels is more than just a strength athlete, he is a motivational figure for millions of people around the world. His story demonstrates that success does not depend solely on talent. It also requires discipline, consistency, resilience, self-belief, and admire his ability to transform a difficult childhood into a successful career through social media, training programs, and public appearances. Larry continues to encourage people to pursue their goals and overcome obstacles. In the world of fitness and strength sports, many athletes inspire people through their achievements. However, very few inspire others through their life story as much as Larry Wheels does. His journey from a difficult childhood to becoming one of the most powerful strength athletes in the world is not just about muscles and lifting weights. It is about determination, resilience, and the belief that anyone can change their life through hard work. Larry Wheels represents the idea that motivation does not come from a perfect life. Instead, motivation often grows from struggle, pain, and the desire to create a better future. His story shows that even when life begins with obstacles, it is possible to build strength not only in the body but also in the mind. For many people who enter the gym feeling uncertain, weak, or discouraged, Larry Wheels' life serves as proof that great transformations are possible. Motivation begins with struggling. Of the most important lessons from Larry Wheels' life is that motivation often begins in difficult circumstances. Many people assume that successful athletes come from comfortable backgrounds, with access to the best resources. In reality, Larry's early life was filled with challenges. He grew up facing poverty, instability, and emotional struggles. These experiences could have pushed him toward negative paths. However, Larry eventually discovered something that changed everything: strength training. When he began lifting weights, he found a sense of control over his life. Each workout allowed him to focus on improvement instead of problems. Every small gain in strength became a symbol of progress. For many gym beginners, this lesson is extremely important. Motivation does not require perfect conditions. Sometimes motivation simply begins with the decision to start. The power of consistency. A major lesson from Larry Wheels' life is the importance of consistency. In the gym, many people expect fast results. They want big muscles or massive strength within a few weeks or months. However, real progress in fitness requires long-term dedication. Larry Wheels did not become one of the strongest athletes in the world overnight. His progress came from thousands of hours spent training, recovering, and repeating the same exercises again and again. Consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who quit early, even on days when motivation is low. Discipline keeps progress moving forward. Larry's story reminds us that success in the gym comes from showing up again and again, even when it feels difficult, turning pain into strength. Many athletes use training as a way to escape or overcome emotional pain. For Larry Wheels, the gym became a place where he could channel frustration and hardship into something positive. Instead of allowing struggles to weaken him, he used them as fuel to push harder in training. Every heavy lift became a symbol of resilience. This mindset is powerful for anyone who trains in the gym. Life inevitably includes challenges such as stress, disappointment, and failure. Instead of letting those challenges destroy motivation, they can be transformed into energy for improvement. The barbell does not judge a person's past. It simply responds to effort. Every time someone lifts a weight that once felt impossible, they prove that growth is possible. The mental strength of training. While many people think of weightlifting as a physical activity, it also builds mental strength. Heavy lifting requires focus, courage, and confidence. Before attempting a heavy squat or deadlift, an athlete must believe that the weight can be lifted. Larry Wheels developed this mental strength over many years of training. He learned how to face intimidating challenges and push through fear. This mental toughness extends far beyond the gym. The same mindset that helps someone complete a difficult workout can also help them overcome challenges in work, education, and personal life. Training teaches discipline, patience, and perseverance, qualities that are valuable in every aspect of life. Learning from failure. Even the strongest athletes experience failure. In powerlifting competitions and intense training sessions, Larry Wheels has faced lifts that he could not complete. Sometimes injuries or mistakes prevented success. However, failure is not the end of progress. In fact, failure often provides the most valuable lessons. When a lift fails, it forces an athlete to analyze what went wrong. Was the technique incorrect? Was the preparation insufficient? Was the weight too heavy? By learning from failure, athletes become stronger and more skilled. For gym beginners, this lesson is extremely important. Progress is not always smooth. There will be bad workouts, missed lifts, and moments of frustration. What matters is the willingness to continue. Training despite setbacks, discipline over motivation. One of the biggest misconceptions about fitness is that successful athletes rely on constant motivation. In reality, motivation comes and goes. Even elite athletes have days when they feel tired, stressed, or unmotivated. What keeps progress moving forward is discipline. Larry Wheels often emphasizes the importance of routine. Training becomes a habit rather than a temporary burst of enthusiasm. Discipline means showing up to the gym even when motivation is low. Over time, discipline builds momentum. Small improvements accumulate, eventually leading to dramatic transformations. Inspiring authorsis, Larry Wheels' popularity grew through social media. He realized that his journey was inspiring people around the world. Millions of fans watch his training videos not only to see heavy lifts, but also to find motivation for their own fitness journeys. For many viewers, Larry represents the possibility of change. Someone who began life with limited opportunities was able to build strength, confidence, and success through hard work. This message resonates with people from all backgrounds. The gym becomes more than a place for physical exercise. It becomes a place where people rebuild their confidence and transform their lives. Simple motivation for everyday life. The story of Larry Wheels also teaches simple motivational principles that anyone can follow. These lessons include: 1. Start where you are. You do not need perfect conditions to begin improving your life. 2. Focus on progress, not perfection. Small improvements every day eventually create huge results. 3. Be patient with yourself. Real change takes time. 4. Stay consistent. Regular effort is more powerful than occasional bursts of motivation. 5. Learn from setbacks. Mistakes are opportunities for growth.